weird like post rationalist sort of environment where before, I mean, people were they still had like the brakes, I guess, on where they still admitted the existence of God. They basically tried to agree with us on everything when it came to the natural order. So they were literally just denying the supernatural order. But now we're kind of at a point where people not only deny the supernatural order, they also, like, weirdly enough, deny simple things about the natural order when it comes
Mm.
to the first principles of reason and moral action, when it comes to the existence of God and things like this. So it's almost as if like we're taking like two steps back now in all of our discussions. Is really it's more rare to meet a pantheistic evolutionist or a transcendental idealist or like all of these or like an actual agnostic, which idealists are not are agnostics, but whatever. Um, it's really insanely difficult to meet these type of people because they just don't really exist anymore because people have just kind of taken it a step further just by not only denying the possibility of the supernatural order, they don't think there's a natural order either. Because if we remember from the episode on the natural order, when you think about what the natural order is, the natural order assumes God creating under the aspect of his under the aspect of creator, creating under the aspect of creator, and then leading us to himself, and him as our end under that same aspect. So we have our sort of natural beatitude, and in God as creator is where that's where the natural order starts and finishes. So really, with people in our day, they don't even like affirm a natural order. So we're kind of like an entire step back when it comes to stuff. It's really interesting. I don't know if that has any merit, Ethan, or if you ever thought about that.
No, it certainly does. I think, yeah, when you were saying that, it made me think of another book by Garrigou. What is it? I think it's called The Order of Things. He's writing on the
Mhm.
principle of finality, um, and uh, and that's really one of the biggest problems is in this era. At least the rationalists would have posited like ends for why the human exists, although very weak ones, and he would just define man according to his own kind of desires, and
Yeah.
everything's judged by human reason. But today, I'd say people don't even have a concept of an end to to think about most of the time. They're just kind of floating around between various things and aren't able to set themselves on one thing, um, and think about the goal of their existence. For example, you ask a question like that, and people look at you like you're an alien.
Yeah,
Um,
it's super interesting because it's like modernity has almost become a like reductio ad absurdum to like all of the silly ideologies of those of that era. It's like they're literally just taking it to its conclusion, just saying, okay, well, I guess there is no end then.
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess we just do whatever we want, kind of. So yeah, it's really interesting to kind of see like the sort of play of the intellect, saying, "Hey, the intellectuals, the Catholic intellectuals, saying that this stuff was going to come from um, modernism, like modernism. The end of modernism is atheism." And of course, back then, people were like, "What are you talking about? We believe in the existence of God." Like that's just silly to say that that's going to happen. It's like, well, kind of, it
Yeah, I
happened.
look at it now.
But yeah, it's almost like we see before our eyes the reductio ad absurdum happening, like in real life, just before our eyes, just the blow up occurring, where all of these principles they started from a small error in the beginning, and they
Hmm.
just brought it out into like these massive consequences in the future. And this kind of sounds like the whole like filioque caused atheism stuff, but we actually have like a reasonable account for how all of this stuff is drawn out from principle to conclusion. It's very fascinating to watch. It's very unfortunate, but looking at this stuff actually does help us as apologists when we're considering how to deal with people with where they are intellectually, even though they may not realize where they are intellectually, because they have a bunch of principles that they don't even realize that they have, that were imbued in them by their education from their parent, their education, their their parents, even,
Mhm.
and just their general environment.